back to the SUPES channel. My name is Matthew, and what's on this channel? I am to entertain, inform, and inspire using the topic of discussion as always, which is superheroes. So guys, episode 4 of Wandavision was pretty damn amazing. It was a recap. It gave us the outside. It finally gave us the outside perspective. You know, I just want to take a second to speak to those people who were pooping on Wandavision after those first 2 episodes. Where you at now? Don't come crawling back. Stay talking smack about WandaVision because now is where the show's gonna start to heat up. So we finally got the outside perspective of we finally got the outside perspective of everything that's happening in WandaVision, and we got a ton of answers in this episode. There was a ton of amazing surprises. I mean, we're gonna talk about how the episode opened up in a second. But anyways, in today's video, I'm gonna be breaking down this episode, giving my thoughts about it, and then theorizing a bit about what's coming moving forward. But right before I do that, guys, make sure to hit that bell notification on my channel to get notified when these videos go up, and subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. Now with that being said, let's break down WandaVision episode 4. So WandaVision episode 4 opened up with Monica forming out of ash. Bro, when I saw this, I was losing it, guys. Because, you know, coming off of the last episode where we saw Monica get, like, yeeted out of the alternate reality, we all expected this episode to start off with Monica. And, you know, I saw Monica's face forming and I was like, what's happening? You know, didn't she just get thrown out of the alternate reality? Like, what's happening right now? And then I saw her hand form and I was like, no way. No way. And they did it. Like, they gave us the opening scene of WandaVision episode 4, which showed Monica coming back from the blip, coming back from Thanos' snap. You know, this took place when Hulk snapped in Avengers Endgame, and it was just so crazy to see this flashback scene and to see her wake up in a hospital with everyone kind of appearing left and right, and then to find out that her mom, Maria Rambeau from the Captain Marvel movie, Captain Marvel's best friend, she died while Monica was snapped away. I mean, how devastating is that? That's probably one of the darkest things Marvel has ever done. And hey, I'm all for Marvel going a little bit more to the dark side, and I look forward to seeing more of that moving forward in WandaVision. So the episode started with Monica, and first of all, I want to give props to Teyonah Parris, the actress who plays Monica Rambeau, because she is born for this. She is born for this role. She is born for this stage, and to be acting on this stage, which is the biggest stage in Hollywood, the MCU, of course. And man, I'm just so excited to see what she does in the Captain Marvel 2, because we know she's going to be in that movie, and to see her reunite with Carol Danvers, now that she's probably going to have powers moving forward. We'll talk about that a bit later. But to see that reunion sometime in the future, that's going to be great. I'm looking forward to Monica's future because I love her as a character. I think she's so fun to watch on screen. She has so much more substance than Captain Marvel herself. I mean, she's just entertaining to watch. So I love Monica Rambeau. I love Teyonah Parris and the way she's playing that character. So anyways, this episode started off with her, and then she was assigned by S.W.O.R.D. We got some more of S.W.O.R.D. We saw her going back to the S.W.O.R.D. base where she's a S.W.O.R.D. agent. She's assigned to this missing persons case. And boom, she's assigned. She goes to Westview where all this some pretty weird things are happening in this mysterious town. And there we see the boy! We see the boy, Jimmy Woo. Jimmy Woo is back. And oh my god, there was no better way to bring back Jimmy Woo than by having him do the card trick. The card trick that Scott Lang taught him in Ant-Man and the Wasp. This was just so perfect. I feel like this was the biggest reveal of this entire episode. You know, seeing the boy Jimmy Woo come back. This is character development at its finest. Seeing the boy go from, like, you know, just like a fan of magic to then like studying at Magic University to now doing the card trick just nonchalant. Bro, it was easy for him. Like, he did it with ease. So shout out to the boy Jimmy Woo. It was amazing to see him come back, him do his thing. I need some Jimmy Woo merch ASAP. Like, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with all of the whole stock situation with AMC and GameStop, but I don't think Disney realizes that if they sold like Jimmy Woo magic kits, like that would sell faster than GameStop stock, and I'm not even playing. But anyways, Monica and Jimmy Woo, they meet, they dap it up, and then they start talking about this missing persons case. And let me tell you right now, the missing person that Monica was assigned to was a man. They were talking about a man. And when Jimmy Woo was talking about this person, he said that they were a part of a witness protection program and they reached out to relatives, and no one has ever heard of this man. In my head, the first person I thought of is Ralph. I think Monica was assigned to find Ralph. And you know, later on in the episode, we see S.W.O.R.D. kind of like gathering all of this intel on this alternate reality, identifying people in the world. And not once did they identify Ralph. Ralph wasn't even on the board. And I think, again, this all just circles back to how important this character is. Even though we didn't even see any Agnes in this episode, we still got technically another Ralph reference, with Monica being assigned to this missing persons case for a person that no one has ever heard of before. So then Monica's investigating and she gets sucked into the alternate reality, and then it makes sense. That's how we saw her in episode 2. That was what we were all theorizing. But then we get a reintroduction of one of the best characters in the MCU, Darcy freaking Lewis. Welcome back to the MCU, Kat Dennings. She's back as Darcy, and she was great in this episode. You know, Darcy in this episode felt like she never left the MCU. Like, Kat Dennings felt like she just feels like she's naturally Darcy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the role just comes naturally to her. So it was great seeing her in this episode, interacting with Jimmy Woo. By the way, Darcy and Jimmy Woo, totally ship that, but whatever. That's a topic of conversation for a different day. Anyways, but Darcy, seeing her back in this episode was great. The comedy was there. It was kind of, it's kind of like that awkward Darcy comedy, and it just came back over here in Wandavision, and it was great to see. And over the course of the episode, as we see Darcy kind of just watching WandaVision, by the way, Darcy is just like a fan of all of us. She was just watching WandaVision, you know, writing down the Easter eggs, the little things, the little hints here and there. Shout out Darcy. She's just doing what we're doing. But as we see Darcy, you know, is like gaining intel from what's happening in this weird alternate reality, she says, someone is censoring this broadcast. And again, I think that all ties back to the Ralph character, who I have been speculating to be Mephisto. And that'll be revealed at the end. But the fact that someone is censoring this broadcast to shield S.W.O.R.D. from actually seeing what's actually happening in this alternate reality when they have these weird like spaz moments, that says something. And I think Mephisto is censoring the broadcast so like that S.W.O.R.D. can't get the intel they need in order to really set things off and set Wanda, you know, break Wanda free from the mind control. So we then get a scene of S.W.O.R.D. gathering information, and we see the scene of Jimmy Woo writing on this whiteboard, and on the left of the whiteboard, we can see that S.W.O.R.D. is putting the Skrulls as potential people that are behind all of this. And this is interesting because at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, we obviously saw that post-credit scene of Nick Fury working with the Skrulls, managing S.W.O.R.D. So why would S.W.O.R.D. be putting the Skrulls as people who can potentially be behind this? I think this is a nod to the Secret Invasion series that is coming down the line. And I think this kind of sets that up. Now that we know that S.W.O.R.D. potentially knows that a group of Skrulls are evil, and that, again, that's the plot of Secret Invasion. It's a group of evil Skrulls that Nick Fury and Talos go after. So this definitely sets up that Secret Invasion series now that we know that S.W.O.R.D. knows of some evil Skrulls that could potentially be behind all this. And when this intel gathering scene is all coming to a close, it ends with like a shot of a bulletin board, and it has everyone in the alternate reality, all the characters, Agnes, Wanda, Mr. Hart, Mrs. Hart, Herb, everyone. It has everyone labeled out on this bulletin board, and they were able to identify with real identities everyone in the alternate reality except for 3 people. The first is Agnes, who we see on the board, which again, it just makes Agnes more sus, and we all know that she's Agatha Harkness. We all know just we're seeing now everyone in the show is catching on to it. So Agnes wasn't identified. Dottie wasn't even on the board, which this reminded me of that line that Agnes said in episode 2 where she said that Dottie is the key to everything in this town. And I think this scene right here, the fact that they weren't able to identify Dottie and not even have her on the board, it shows something. Again, like I said, guys, nothing in the show is unintentional. And then, of course, Ralph wasn't on the board either. And then at the end of the episode, Darcy and Jimmy Woo are watching this broadcast, and we start to see the ending of the last episode, where Wanda's interrogating Monica after Monica brought up about how Pietro died because of Ultron. And then this was super interesting, but Jimmy and Darcy, they both analyze and they both bring to light that the way to trigger Wanda is by bringing up events from the past. And that's why I think moving forward, because they know that that triggered Wanda, I think we're going to see more references to old MCU movies and older events that Wanda has some trauma for, such as not only Pietro's death, but Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame. Who knows? But I think now that S.W.O.R.D. knows how to trigger Wanda, we're going to start to see them try to reference more things in order to snap her out of the mind control. So then we get to see the back end of the ending of the last episode where Wanda blasts Monica out of this alternate reality with no regard for human life. Monica lands and S.W.O.R.D. comes to her aid, and she says the words, "Wanda, it's all Wanda. It's all Wanda." And you know, at this point we know Wanda has certainly a lot of control over everything that's happening, and she's a big reason why all of this is happening. But Mephisto is also playing a hand in all of this. So that's that. That's all. Again, that's what Sword knows. People know what Mephisto wants them to know. So going back to Wanda, then we start to see Vision walk into the house, and this scene goes down completely different than how it went down in the last episode. And we get a glimpse of a dead Vision. And this right here is our first glimpse of what's actually real. And this right here, I think it ties directly back to the deleted Avengers Endgame post-credit scene, which I did a complete video, so you guys can check out that video. But in this deleted post-credit scene, Wanda showed up to like a morgue, I guess, and she opened up a body bag container, and in the body bag was Vision's body, and then she started using her powers on the body, and that would have eventually set up Wandavision. But because we never got that scene, because that scene was deleted, I think this scene of seeing a dead Vision plays into that. Because I think, you know, the dark truth behind all of this is that Wanda's literally parading around Vision's dead body. And it was just our first glimpse of what's actually real in this alternate reality. And it freaked out Wanda. And then she looked back and Vision was normal once again. And I have so many different theories that I want to address from this one episode, because this episode got me thinking so many different theories, and I've been posting a lot of them on TikTok, but I'll make sure to expand on those theories over here on YouTube throughout this week. So guys, let me know what you guys thought of WandaVision episode 4. I love this episode. I think it was a great way to kind of bring people back from you know, those people who didn't like the sitcom structure and are more accustomed to like the traditional Marvel style content. I think it was a great way to bring people back, and I loved seeing the outside perspective. This episode gave us a ton of answers, but at the same time, I also feel like they could have just combined this episode and the last episode into 1 week, because now it's gonna be a long week until next Friday. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching my WandaVision episode 4 breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and hit that bell notification on my channel so you get notified when these videos go up. Thank you guys for watching. I love you guys 3000, and I'll see you guys next time. Let's go!